Hey guys, welcome back to Wednesday on Geeks of the Week. First of all, my sincerest apologies for disappearing again last week, but I got sick, which almost never happens to me, and I thought I'd be doing better by Wednesday, but I found out the hard way that I was wrong. But I'm back, and thankfully no longer wasted on NyQuil. So on top of being sick last week, I'm also currently without internet in my apartment. I'm in the process of moving this weekend. Aside from going crazy because I can't check Twitter every 2 seconds, I haven't been able to watch my fellow geeks videos yet. So I won't be responding to their videos this week, but I need to keep this video short anyway because I still have a lot of packing to do. So in the meantime, I'm very proud to say that after weeks of stalking various comic book shops, I did finally give in and buy some comics. So that means it's time for Lulu's very first Noob comic book review. Something doesn't seem right. I'll be back. Hey guys, it's Wednesday and I'm Maria and this is Geeks of the Week. So I picked up 4 comics last weekend. I got them at the Samurai Comics location in Mesa, and I just want to give them a shout out for their great customer service. I actually was having a lot of trouble finding Harvest number 1, and they had it, but it was for $10, because I guess they've been really hard to find. So the guy working there was actually really nice and gave it to me for a cover price. So that's how you run a comic book shop, my friends. First up, we have Doctor Who, which is the first part of a 2-part series called The Hypothetical Gentleman, written by Andy Diggle with art by Mark Buckingham. I was sadly very underwhelmed by this comic. In its favor, I have to say that it does read very much like a Doctor Who episode. However, the plot line feels like one of the episodes that's just not quite as good as the rest of the season, or maybe an episode that was rejected altogether. I thought the cover art was actually pretty well done, and seeing the other variant covers that they have listed on the inside, I kind of wish I'd picked up one of those, but the art inside is kind of awful. It's this really weird mashup between realism and impressionism. That's the only way I can describe it. Like, I can tell that the artist was trying to draw them realistically, but many of the faces are really strangely drawn, and the shading is so heavy and murky and blurry that it takes away from any realism that might have been there. I'll probably pick up the next issue just to have the set and to read the conclusion, but as much as I love the Doctor, I think I'm just gonna stick to the TV show. Then there's Hit Girl, written by Mark Millar and John Romita Jr., which takes place between the original Kick-Ass series and the currently printing Kick-Ass 2. I admit that I didn't read the original Kick-Ass. I've only seen the movie. Usually I'm better about reading the source material. So I'm not sure if I'm missing anything here. But like many others, I really did enjoy Hit Girl's character, so I was pretty thrilled to see this on the shelf. It begins with Hit Girl adjusting to normal life after her father's death, or at least trying to adjust. She gets teased a lot in school like any other weird girl does, and she really struggles with the fact that she hasn't been on superhero duty in a while. Of course, she teams back up with Kick-Ass and gets into costume. It's only the first issue, so it's a little hard to judge the story overall, but I did enjoy it, so I'll definitely be picking up the next issue. My only complaint is that I don't like how the artists draw Hit Girl. I don't think they know what a 12-year-old girl's face looks like. More often than not, she looks 30, and they don't draw her the same way twice, so it's kind of a minor complaint. Everything else is good, and the colors are great, and I'm sure the impending bloodshed will be drawn beautifully. Next up is Punk Rock Jesus, written and drawn by Sean Murphy. Everyone I mentioned this to just could not stop gushing about how good it was, so I went into this definitely expecting a good read, but not really sure what to expect from the story. I'm happy to say that everybody was definitely right. It is really freaking good. I'm not really sure where punk rock comes into play, but there's definitely a Jesus, or supposedly there is. They cloned him for a reality show, I guess, and the Irish Republican Army is somehow involved. I don't quite understand what's going on. I just know that it's really, really good. It's all drawn in black and white, so sometimes the panels can get a little murky and dark and kind of hard to tell what's going on, but it definitely fits in with the noir feeling of the whole story. The last page is quite the cliffhanger, so I'm definitely looking forward to the next issue. I actually already have it on order. I don't recommend this for the faint of heart at all, but it's definitely a great read, and I cannot wait to see what happens next. And finally, Harvest, written by AJ Lieberman and drawn by Colin Lorimer. I was probably most excited to read this out of all the comics I picked up. I mentioned earlier that I had to pay almost $10 just to get the first issue, and I'm kinda glad that I didn't have to pay that much in the end. Don't get me wrong, it was good, and I have the next issue of it on order too. It's just that Harvest was only 4 pages shorter than Punk Rock Jesus, but I felt like the story itself was like half as long. The entire issue is dedicated to the setup of the story, but no real teasers about what's coming next. So it's a little hard for me to be fully intrigued when I don't quite understand what's about to happen. And honestly, I can't even really tell you what it's about. All I know is that there's a doctor, and he had his license revoked, and now he operates on people illegally, while extremely intoxicated. Everybody has hobbies, I guess. Out of everything I picked up, this one definitely has the best art. The people actually look like people, or how people should look in a comic, I think. And the muted color palettes really make the blood spatter panels all the more striking. Again, I'm a little disappointed, but I'm not ready to give up on it yet. So that's all for me this week. I hope I did okay for my first comic book review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had fun doing it, and I look forward to hopefully doing some more. Like I said, I already have some things on order. So I guess that's it for this week. I will see you all next week broadcasting live from my new apartment. I know you guys couldn't see it in the video, so just want to point out that I'm wearing a Juno t-shirt because Mario likes Juno and I like Juno. Check it out.